And then my emotions help me understand either my decisions or something that's happened to me or something that's happening around me, whether it's grief, frustration, joy. But I'm not governed by my emotions. I don't want to be emotionally governed. I think self-control is that, this kind of like this, the ability to not react.
The reason why I added this question to my list of podcast questions is like, you're 49 and you still have an opinion about your dad. Mm-hmm. And one day Noah's going to be 49 and somebody's going to ask him the question or, potentially ask him the question. Doesn't even matter if he's asked. He'll have an opinion on what he loved about how Josh Seykora, his dad, showed up and maybe something he wished his dad would have done differently. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to like ultimately change all these things. It's probably going to be true no matter what we do. Like perfect family, perfect dad doesn't exist. But that idea that our influence in our sons and daughters' lives will live with them well beyond them turning 18, 19, 20. Yeah. I mean, we have huge impact. Yeah. When you see yourself show up brash with the family, right? It's easier for us to like kind of just sometimes be a total dick to the family versus, somebody out in at the grocery store or whatever. What happens, right, for you internally? How do you, because I think all of us have these things about ourselves that we don't necessarily love, like a way that we show up in situations when we might be quote unquote pushed to the limit, which is really still our responsibility. But what do you find go on inside of you? And then how do you remedy that? And then maybe guys could take that into their own lives.
I think, one of the areas that I've had to really control or not control, like kind of give over my life is responding in anger and frustration. Because I what actually riles me is when someone will say, "Oh, you're angry." I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm not angry." Kind of like, I can show you what anger is, and this is not it. But realizing that, oh gosh, maybe like this inclination I have in my personality, I've really got to watch that. So when I show up brash, I'm usually walking into a situation that's out of my control, and I want to control it. Or that definitely happens. I want to like all of a sudden, hey, Dad's home. Hi, I'm here. Like, I'm in control. Like everybody should stop with, I don't say it like this, but I think this is what I think and probably how I act is like, now that I'm here, everybody should stop and consider that now Dad is home. And so now they're just, listen to me, it's like almost as if I don't care if Mom's been here all day and the house is still standing and you guys are all alive and she's cooked and all that. I'm now home. Okay. So, so that would be one. Two, usually when I turn up brash, someone or something else is occupying room space in my head. And I've been chewing on it. And I'm not even...
Yeah, that's good.
One of the best pieces of advice I got from this kind of incredible psychiatrist, I was on an elite sports retreat with this was crazy, a bunch of Olympians, but he's like, nobody talks to ourselves more than ourselves, potentially God, but really, we don't even aren't aware of what we're thinking about. And I will carry that in. And then like, that's the straw that kind of breaks the camel's back. And then all of a sudden I'm lashing out at the kids and I don't even realize what I've been mulling on.
Yeah.
So those are the two things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got a question for you. Kind of like a philosophy, spiritual question. Because a moment ago you started to say something about like you needed control, but then you paused yourself and kind of said like, well, I kind of surrendered it. Kind of in my mind, you were alluding to God helping you in the situation. But what I find interesting is I've been leaning in more to Galatians, fruits of the Spirit with my kids. And then, in my own mind thinking, what metrics am I using? Am I using the metrics of the world, status, money, car, whatever? Or if I look year over year, is the fruit growing, right? You got peace, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. And the one that stands out as interesting is a fruit of the Spirit is self-control.
Yeah.
So it's like, in a sense, you and I do, as fathers, as husbands, as human beings, as God's creation, we do have the ability to control ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But where's that fine balance of like, I'm God controlling myself and
Mm-hmm.
I'm surrendered controlling myself? What do you think?
Yeah, that's really good. I think when I think about self-control, like we could, you could call it self-discipline, although I don't think that's exactly what he's talking about. I think I'm choosing not to allow my emotions to govern me. So I look at it this way. I believe I have a mind, all right, the ability
Yep.
to think, make decisions. I have a will, the mind is where I can think and reason, create, imagine, formulate
Yeah.
ideas. My will is in this ability to decide. I can decide to do one thing over another. I can know the right thing to do and choose to do the wrong thing. And then my emotions help me understand either my decisions or something that's happened to me or something that's happening around me, whether it's grief, frustration, joy. But I'm not governed by my emotions. I don't want to be emotionally governed. I think self-control is that, this kind of like this, the ability to not react,
Yes. Yeah.
basically, but to develop a response. And as much as I believe that, and I'm able to exhibit that, I was able to exhibit it as a coach. I'm often able to exhibit it, when I be leading teams or painting a house. But sometimes at home, man, is like I just give myself liberty to react. Like I'm so tired of exhibiting self control, and I don't want to be impulsive, but decisive. And sometimes I'm
Yeah.
not decisive. I'm very indecisive. So it's like, for me, you bring up a really good point. But I think that's maybe what it is. I think self-discipline and self-government is basically disciplining or governing myself, as a lifestyle to do what is right, consistently. But self-control is like, I don't allow myself to impulsively react to a situation. Like, I don't know if I would be a great police officer or a great military person as much as I love the idea of it. Like, my older
Yeah.
brother shows an incredible amount of self-control. I know he's not perfect, but like you see some of the best guys, control.